What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting to you from the D. And let's touch on Jess Hilarious and her currently getting smoke from the rainbow community. I honestly didn't know that she had beef with them in any capacity. Um, Apparently, on the Breakfast Club, they had a sister on there. From all accounts, intelligent sister. She's got some podcast or something. But she leans a lot into the feminist stuff, but also she is apparently a bit of a rainbow supporter. And she was on the Breakfast Club recently. She had a quick back and forth with Jess Hilarious, because Jess Hilarious was talking about, well, she added in a quick little quip of only women being able to have kids. And so, of course, she gave the pushback that they always go to of people with uterus can have kids. If you have a uterus, you can have kids. It doesn't mean that you are a woman. Just that nonsense. Talking about there are men that have kids, this and that. And you guys know, I don't subscribe to any of that stuff. They change the rules of their own games so often, I don't even try to understand where they're coming from. The thing is that when you go back and forth with these people, because they very much live in confusion. When you go back and forth with them in this sort of fashion, they lure you into their sphere of confusion and then beat you with experience, because that's where they're comfortable at. So even if you're someone that's trying to understand them and genuinely trying to understand them, you want to be supportive and whatnot, those very same people that you're bending over backwards trying to support will eat you alive the moment you give the slightest perceived slight. So I just don't even deal with them. But the trans community was coming for Jess. Well, not just them, people who aren't supposedly, who also support them. And one of the things that was said is that her man must have been taken by a doll. Now, I don't know of how anybody could come up with that, just because she don't rock with that confusing jargon. Oh, her man must have been taken by a doll. I didn't know what a doll was. I did some looking. Apparently a doll is a trans woman. I have no idea why that's the dub for a trans woman, but here we are. I'm telling you, I just do not try to understand this stuff. I hear, oh, this is what the Urban Dictionary or whatever it is says. This is why it's called this, or this is what it is. I just be like, yep, okay. So that's what you mean by that. It doesn't mean I agree, but okay, I see that's what you mean when you say this. So claiming that her man had to have been taken from her by a doll, and that's why she got this smoke for the trans community. I don't know about that, man. But somebody did mention this one thing, and this was true because Jess confirmed this herself. Somebody slid in her inbox trying to get at her, thinking that she was a trans man. Because, Jess, she does have some masculine facial features. And then you take into account, and this is me being, like objective here. This isn't me like throwing any personal attacks, but you take into account her masculine behavior. She has a very masculine demeanor. So you add that to the fact that she's got some pretty pronounced facial features that are typically associated with men. So yeah, that's the best way that I could put it for you guys to get where I'm coming from without it seeming like I'm doing any attack. This is 100% just me just shooting here. I could see why if they don't know who she is prior may think that, you know, when she let them know she is a biological female, she's not in any way, shape, or form in the rainbow stuff, they lost interest in her. So they stopped the pursuing. I mean, you know, I'm sure that was a bit of a what the F moment for her. If you a woman and somebody slid into your DMs thinking that you were a trans dude, and when you let them know you weren't, like they was over you like that, that's gotta be a blow to one's self-esteem, for real. You guys, you know, I'm not a big fan of Jess Hilarious, but I will defend her on this. Just because you don't rock with that stuff, it does not make you phobic. All right, there's this whole thing, oh, you're transphobic, you're homophobic. No, just because you don't support it, you don't get with that, you don't understand it in any way, you're not interested, it doesn't make you phobic. You're just not interested. You know, you're just not interested. You can do what you do over there and I'll do me over here. I'm not jumping over there disturbing you from doing what it is that you want to do. So how am I phobic? It's not like I'm laying up at night worried about who you laying with, you know. So it's just really strange to me how, if you're not an outright supporter, if you don't agree, if you're not showing up at the parades they're at, you're labeled phobic. It's also really ridiculous how saying only women can have kids is controversial. Like that's an argument now. You can, or not right now, but you would be canceled. Just think about this. Just a couple years ago, saying that could get you canceled. So yeah, I may not be no big fan of hers, but I'll stand side by side with her on this. I'll definitely stand with her on this. Only women can have kids, man. This whole, oh no, there are men that have kids too. There are men that have uterus. No, those are women. Just because you go have your breasts removed and go digging in your brother's closet for clothes, it doesn't suddenly make you a guy. Any more than a dude going and getting, as they call it, top surgery, to add in, you know, artificial breasts. Because I've seen some, they've gotten a BBL, they've gotten an artificial breast. That doesn't make you a woman, bruh. And why is this controversial? A grown-ass man going and getting his body mutilated does not change the fact that he's still a grown-ass man. I mean, you could have your weird quirks or whatever it is. You know, you could like dressing up in women's clothes. You could want to have breasts like a woman, all that. Cool. But it's unreasonable to then start expecting people to refer to you as a man. I mean, really, it's unreasonable. If you want to live this way and you want to identify yourself whatever way, you are free to do so. Live how you want, identify how you want to identify. But you cannot force me to participate in whatever you got going on. So I'm going to leave it there, man. Jess Hilarious getting smoke from the rainbow community. She probably don't care, and I hope she don't. You know, she mentioned before about, and this was when one of the trans women, or whatever you want to call it, was coming for her, and she had mentioned, when are people ever defending women? Like, when are they? I defend women all the time. I'm critical of calling out accountability when it comes to women, but I defend women all the time. You guys have heard me say in videos plenty of times about, I don't rock with that men and women's sports. I don't rock with that men going in the ladies' room. I don't support any of that foolery at all. Just, Absolute ridiculousness. If you got a daughter, there's no way you okay with some boy talking about, oh, I'm a girl now, and now he get to go in there where she changing clothes at. There's just no way. So masculine men are always going to have the duality of protecting women, all while holding women accountable too. Because the thing is, we don't need women to hold us accountable as men. Men hold each other accountable every day. I mean, women are going to point out this and that too, and that's also welcomed. But men, we are always going to have the dual job of holding women accountable, but also still protecting them. That's never going to change. As long as there are masculine, strong men, virtuous men that exist, and I don't see why there would ever come a time where there wouldn't, that's never going to change. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for real, though, y'all. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.